What's up? Happy Tuesday. Dr. Gabby here. I just wanted to jump on really quickly because I had a really powerful conversation with one of my clients today, and I think it might add a lot of value to you, whatever you're creating, whatever you're building in the world, whatever you're monetizing. And the topic of the conversation was the difference between wealth building and dream building. Sometimes these things are the same and sometimes they're different. Sometimes we have things that we're doing to generate money, and then we have creative endeavors that we're doing that we have not yet monetized, but we're wanting to monetize them. And there's a dance that happens. There's a dance that happens between wealth building and between dream building. It is a dance that I personally have been doing since I'm 17 years old. I've always been self employed. And during that time, I've had to balance my creative expression, my creative gifts, the things I want to contribute to the world, and figure out how to make a living, how to pay the bills, how to pay the rent, how to buy groceries, how to put gas in my car, all of those things, right? So there's always this dance that I'm doing. For me, I have to really look at my overall finances very frequently, and I have to say, what money do I need to survive? Like, what money do I need in the world, and what am I monetizing in the world that can pay those bills? There is no shame in taking gigs that just pay the bills, and sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to get a bartending gig. Sometimes you have to drive an Uber. Sometimes you have to take on clients that you're not crazy about because you need to cover some of that cost. And sometimes that needs to be a priority because you're trying to pay down some debt, or you're trying to save to buy a house, or you're trying to put money aside to invest in your creative endeavors, right? Sometimes, though, you have enough money, you have enough stability that you can really take some time and you can focus on the creative aspirations. You can focus on the dream building. Generally, in my experience, having been dream building for the last 30 years, there is a financial investment that you need to make in dream building. I wrote a book last year. All of you know that. I talk about it all the time. It cost $40,000. And that was just in the last year of production. That's not all the classes that I took, all the writing retreats that I went on, all the investment that I made in reading other people's books and learning what I loved about writing, right? There was a big investment of time and energy and money that went into that. And so a lot of times the wealth building funds the creative dreams, right? I produced another book this year. I'm investing in that. I hired a speaking coach. I'm investing in that. That is all the ways that I am building my dream life, my dream projects, my dream career. And that dream building could be anything. It could be that you're buying a retreat center. It could be that you're making a musical album. It could be that you want to transition to being an artist full time, a creative artist, a graphic designer, any of those things, right? All of that requires an investment, and you need to look at the bottom line of these two different things. It's very clear when you're wealth building what the bottom line is. If I buy this piece of real estate and I sell this piece of real estate a year later and I make $1 million, it's very clear, right? With the dream building, there is financial transactional things happening, but you are also building the wealth of your fulfillment. You're also building the wealth of your creative juices. You're also building the wealth of your network, of your social interactions, of your dreams, right? So there is also a different bottom line there that's an important consideration as you're ping-ponging back and forth between these two things. I think one of the things that we are sold, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a creative person, is that eventually your dreams are going to pay the bills. I just so happened to watch the King Richard movie last night where Will Smith is Serena and Venus Williams' father, and he has this dream for them from a very young age that they are going to become the #1 tennis players in the world, which they did. Congratulations, Serena and Venus Williams. And I think a lot of times it is the American dream that those creative pursuits, those creative endeavors, those creative investments will then have a large ROI, a large return on investment, will pay the bills. We will become an Instagram influencer. We will become a tennis pro. And that may or may not happen, right? We don't know whether or not that's going to happen, but sometimes we need to pursue it anyway. And we need to have dedicated time and resources to continue to pursue those things. Now, the caveat to all of this is you're building your wealth, you're building your creative dreams, you're dream building, you're building your wealth. These things are happening. One deal breaker for me, a deal breaker under no circumstances will I sacrifice my physical and mental health for either of these things? Okay. And I think that's one of the places where the train goes off the track and we crash, right? One of the places where we make sacrifices that we should never be making sacrifices is for our physical and mental health. We have a hustle culture. The American dream culture is you work to the point of burnout. You push yourself. We call it grit. We call it ambition. We call it passion. We name it a lot of things that make it seem like these are really desirable qualities, and sometimes they can be, but there needs to be a line in the sand. And that line in the sand is that you are not putting your physical and mental health at jeopardy to pursue either dream building or wealth building. There needs to be enough money in the bank that you can feed yourself and you can take care of your basic needs. And also, you need to not be so focused on wealth building that you're creating a degeneration of your physical and mental health, because then you're not going to be good for anybody. You're not going to be a leader. You're not going to be someone who can inspire others. You're not going to be someone who can support and give those gifts in the fullest expression of yourself for the longest amount of time possible. So this is a conversation that I'm having with one of my clients who's about to birth a beautiful book into the world, and on the heels of that wants to build a platform, wants to build a retreat center, wants to put amazing things into the world. And these are some of the fundamentals that we have to master in the beginning. We have to understand our priorities. We have to understand where we're investing our time and energy. And we have to make sure that we are putting our mask on first before we're putting, support and pouring into other people around us. So that was just like a very spontaneous thing that I wanted to share with you, because I'm so loving supporting other people on their journey of expression and dream building. And navigating this can be really difficult, and I don't think we have this conversation enough about what we really need to get to the finish line with some of these things. So as always, I'm a resource for you. I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday wherever you are, and if you need anything, hit me up. If you go to my link in my bio, you can get free discovery calls with me and talk about whatever projects you're working on. Bye for now.